and gentlemen, welcome to episode 31 of Speak On It, the Priest Holmes episode. There's the Jamal was running back from the Ravens in the 2000s.
It was not Jamal Williams. It was
I just had it. I legit just had it.
The Seth Curry episode. The Seth Curry episode. Not Curry Seth, episode. Not Wardell. I'm talking about his brother, the Seth Curry episode. Shout out to Seth Curry.
Yeah. Jamal Lewis.
Jamal Lewis. He was nice back in his day.
Jamal Lewis was a beast. He was a man amongst boys. He went to Ohio State, right? I think he went to Ohio State. And that's Eddie George. Where did Jamal win?
Eddie George won a Heisman, didn't he?
I'm pretty sure Eddie George did win a Heisman back in the day. Eddie George was a beast, and now he is a coach at an HBCU. I just forgot which HBCU he is head coach at. Maybe it's Alcorn State, but I do not know off the top of my head.
Since we're talking about college football a little bit, and I know that's probably how we're going to begin the show, let's pour out a few cups of Henny for a few programs who are dead. Florida State. Dead. I don't want to hear nothing about
Florida State out of the
ACC. University of Miami. Y'all not back. Y'all not back.
You know why they're not back? Why aren't they back? Why they not back?
Because they're an Adidas school. According to your theory, they're an Adidas school. And people, for those who don't know, Danny Ocean's theory is that any college football team that is sponsored by Adidas is destined for failure. And he might be on to something. You look at the University of Miami. I believe the University of Nebraska got a good slacking. Is Nebraska dead, or have they been a little bit irrelevant enough for us to say they've been?
The only team that is beating my theory, and it's only week 3, is Texas A&M. That's it.
That's because Jimbo was actually a good coach. I'm looking back on it now. Like, I'm looking at Florida State now, and I'm like, Jimbo was a good coach.
Yeah, Jimbo was a good coach. That's the only 3-stripe school that I see that may break my theory.
That's until they play Bama. You know what happens with A&M? They're good, and then they play them boys.
I'm not afraid at all of my theory.
And then after the Bama game, Texas A&M just looks mad shaky for the rest of the year. It's because when you have that Bama game on your schedule, a couple people gonna get hurt because they're gonna be amped up. They're gonna be ready to go when you see Bama on the schedule.
They're gonna be ready to fight. Shout out to Steve Sarkisian in Texas. Anyone who watched, who did they play? They played Arkansas 2 weeks ago. There was a picture, and I posted it on Twitter of Steve Sarkisian realizing what life is like in the SEC. He's not going to make it there. Steve Sarkisian going to find a way out.
You think he'll be an offensive coordinator for an NFL team pretty soon?
Oh, he'll be offensive coordinator for a Conference USA team. He's not sticking around. That man gonna take the first. He gonna be in Cincinnati calling plays.
He gonna take the first cowbell or horse out of Texas, and he ain't never gonna look back.
He not going to the SEC. Sark wants no part.
At what point we ain't talk? But at what point do Texas fans realize that they are the reasoning for their own programs?
Oh, never. Okay. No, that's it. Texas, yeah, they're like on the same delusional level as the Cowboys, right? Maybe it's a Texas thing.
It's funny because there hasn't been any relevant football played in the state of Texas outside of Super Bowls. And think about it. What college or professional team has been really, really relevant coming out of the state of Texas? It's been some time. Since Vince Young, Texas team?
No, there's been more. I mean, you had a few Houston teams that were good.
Lost to Brady in the playoffs. You can talk about those Romo and the first.
No, I'm talking about college.
No, but they weren't doing that. No, I ain't gonna say they weren't doing that. They was doing something, but they weren't nationally contending, I should say.
Oh, so yeah, national contenders. Yeah, I mean, he had Johnny Manziel. Those when he was at A&M.
Until he ran Bama. He beat Bama to win Bama that 1 year. But what happened that year? Because he ended up losing to someone he really shouldn't have lost to, and it was just like, that was y'all's chance to go to the Natty. What we talking about today?
Yeah, let's get cracking. So I'm your host, Danny Ocean, as always, joined by the smoothest man on the planet, Losty Mix. How you living, baby?
Hey, man, people, you already know. I got the hat on today. The cut's coming in on Friday, but even now, you can see when you see this semi-Nas fade, it could only be one brother, the good brother, Losty Mix. As always, it's great to be back here, people. It's great to be here with you, Danny Ocean. The Packers are 1-1. The Eagles are 1-1. I ain't got no Eagles shade shots today because we got the same record. So I'm gonna keep it.
We're gonna talk about them Eagles later. Don't you worry, babe. We got plenty of heat. For those of you watching at home and catching the restream, you can see what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about some college football, some NFL. D and I are in the same fantasy league. We're going to just kind of talk about that a little bit, how we're both killing it. But first, let's talk about college football. We're 3 weeks into this thing, and it seems like Alabama is the heavy favorite to win everything, but they barely managed to beat Florida last Saturday. Do you think this is Bama's chip to lose, or do you think a team from the field can take down the Tide?
Whew. So if I had to choose between Bama versus the field, I'm taking Bama. The reason being is that I think Bama does outside of them being just a step ahead of just everyone, in terms of talent-wise, executionally, I think Bama really takes it one opponent at a time, and I think most of the time they're able to really game plan and scheme for their opponents in a way that not only throws the opponents off their maybe the game plan that they have coming in, but it messes up a lot of what those opponents like to do on the regular. I think that's just Saban learning from the Bill Belichick school of coaching. And I think the one thing I've also seen teams play Bama is that they shoot themselves in the foot. Like they try to do so much because they're playing Bama that they don't focus on their normal assignments or normal roles and just doing what they need to do. So I don't know. It just seems when you watch Bama play versus watching the rest of the country play, even like the other, normal contenders, Ohio State and Clemson, you look at them compared to Bama and you're like, it's good, but it ain't enough to beat them. Because you know what you're going to have to do to beat Bama. Like the blueprint to really beating Bama is how Clemson did it a few years ago in the national championship game with Trevor Lawrence. You just got to straight up take it to him. Like you got to straight take it to him, and like pretty much every time you touch the ball, you got to score. Like you got to score. At some points, you just got to score. And I just think there's not a lot of teams who can match Alabama shot for shot like that, or have the consistent offensive firepower to just move up and down the field. I'm going to be curious to see how the Ole Miss Alabama game goes. I think it's going to be really good. Obviously, the A&M Bama, LSU Bama. I think that's going to be a shellacking. I think that's going to be. Yes. I think it's going to be a beat down. And then even the Auburn Alabama game, I think it's going to be close for like a quarter and a half, and then I think it'll slowly go Bama's way. So I think this is Bama's chip to lose, man.
So for all the young people at home who aren't familiar, I'm not a big golf guy, but back in the day before Tiger Woods was known for cheating on his wife and crashing his car, there used to be a question before he played in every tournament. It was, are you going to take Tiger or are you going to take the field? And every smart person, any person who knew anything always took Tiger. Alabama is Tiger Woods. It is Alabama's championship to lose until they lose it. I think Saturday's game against Florida was a great sign. It's week 3, and they already have like their signature win. And they're only going to get better from here. So if they have to face they won't have to face UF again, right? Because that's in their conference, right? They won't have to face
in their conference. The only way they'll play them is in the SEC championship game. And right now, I think it's either going to be Florida or Georgia. We know that. So, and then if you think about Bama against either one of those teams, it's like which one of those teams really, Georgia will probably give them a game, but I would ultimately still pick Bama,
Yeah, especially on the neutral field, right? Because Florida is at home on Saturday, and that helped a lot, but it still wasn't enough. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one's easy for me. It's Bama until it's not.
Yeah, and then like the thing is like even when it's like when teams play Patty Mahomes, I know we have to get into. When you playing them, you just gotta score every single time, and even if you score every single time, they're still probably going to score every single time. So, like, you just have to have, like, calls go your way. You got to come up with an interception. You got to come up with a game-changing play. But the problem is that other team's usually making the game-changing play because the underdog team is pressing too much, like I was saying. So, I don't know. I know like some teams. I think a team like Clemson. You know what? I need to know who the backup quarterback for Clemson is because it's close to me saying it might be time to bring him out. It might be because that
DJ
offense. It looks shaky out there.
DJ
and
looking real spooky.
Look like that, especially the way he was able to command the offense last year. But he also had Travis Etienne, so
it covers a lot. So let's head over to what the people are really want to talk about. Let's talk about this football. First and foremost, let's talk about this Sunday night game. So Lamar Jackson finally put to rest that he couldn't beat Patrick Mahomes. He can't beat Patrick Mahomes allegations. Does this victory with a depleted Ravens team lead you to believe that this could be a potential AFC championship preview this year?
First off, let me say shout out Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, for finally beating the I can't beat Patrick Mahomes allegations. I mean, claps it up because, look, if you've been following me, for the last couple of years, last 3 years, I have said, we need, like after year 2, I was like, we need to stop putting the Chiefs and the Ravens in prime time because if this is how these games are going to keep going, I don't want to see this because it's not pretty. Because I like Lamar. Obviously, I rocks with Patty Mahomes, but I like Lamar, man. Like I really like Lamar, and I hate that the media was painting this narrative that not only that he wasn't a quarterback, but that he can't beat Patrick Mahomes. So I was happy to see Lamar pull out a victory, and the Ravens played a hell of a game, and they still only won by 1. Remember when I was just talking about Bama? Look, the Ravens played a hell of a game, and they only won by 1. It felt like they won by like a touchdown, but they only won by a point. So I think it's big. I don't think this is going to be a potential AFC Championship preview, although I would love to see Mahomes versus Lamar for a chance to go to the Super Bowl. I think when you start talking about some of the other teams in the AFC, maybe some teams that might get hot that maybe starting out the gate a little bit slow now, I think we start talking about matchups. It's hard for me to believe that both of these teams are going to be able to withstand maybe any injuries. Any injuries, any maybe any COVID related stuff, or even just the fact that you might get an unfavorable matchup in the playoffs. So I don't know. It's hard for me to think that both of them are going to be able to. Both of them are going to end up working through some things and matching up in the AFC Championship game. But ideally, the Ravens and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, sign me up. It's a black quarterback either way. I'm winning. Someone's got to play Rodgers. Someone's got to play Rodgers in the Super Bowl.
Here we go. We're not even on that side of the fence yet. We're not even there. We're not even there yet.
I got to.
I know. I'm not angry at you. After last night, I'd be hyped too. I'm with you. I don't think this is a preview of the AFC Championship game. Like, as much as I love the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, like, those injuries are going to catch up at some point. Like, there's no way you can lose 5 running backs and then not come back to bite you at one point in time. I'd sign me up for that too. 2 black quarterbacks competing for the right to go to the Super Bowl to play whoever comes out of the NFC, yet to be determined. I love the sound of that. I don't think it's going to happen with the Ravens this year. But I do.
I didn't mean to cut you off. The Ravens are like a weird team where, like, if they were fully healthy, they'd be really good, but they're not fully healthy. And they're still working through some things. And so they're going to lose a game or two just off the fact that they don't have their signature players, right? And then you also got to factor in that you're going to lose a game or two where, like games like the Raiders. There's like 1 or 2 more of those games in the tuck. And that's just for every team. Like, the game of football is a weird sport where, like, you're going to lose like a game or two on some BS stuff that you definitely shouldn't have lost, whether it's a call, like a bonehead penalty, like in the Giants and the Washington game. Like, it's something like that. It's just a game's going to be close. Things are just not going to fall your way. That's in the NFL season, you can only have so many of those losses before it starts affecting playoff rankings because that one's good, right? And especially in those last couple of playoff spots, it's usually a game or two, and it comes down to tiebreakers. And you don't want to, when you're leaning on this team's got to beat this team and this team's got to beat this team, it's hard to overcome. And I think the Ravens might be a victim of some of that, especially in that division. Although when you look across the AFC North, though, you look at the Ravens, you look at the Browns, you look at the Steelers, you look at the Bengals, there's not a team that really stands out. So they could still win their division. And I definitely can see that being a way for them to make sure they get in. And then they'll have the home games. You'll imagine that, So, I'm optimistic. I want to cheer on my guy Lamar, but
I knew the Ravens were going to win. During introductions, they played The Farmer in the Dell, whistled by Omar Little. For everyone who knows, who is a fan of The Wire, Omar was played by Michael K. Williams, who died last week. Rest in peace. If you have not watched The Wire, I highly recommend it. It is the best show to ever touch a television screen. And Omar,
it's the show GOAT.
It's the show GOAT. And there's no, I know there's Breaking Bad. The Wire beats all of it. So, and Omar is a signature character. So once they played The Farm in the Dell, it was a wrap. I want to play a game with you.
Okay.
I did some numbers because there's this, especially people that I know who dislike the Ravens, there's this notion that Lamar Jackson is a running back who just throws the ball and he's not accurate. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask you a question. I kind of just gave away the answer. What is Baker Mayfield known for?
Game.
What was his calling card when he was the number one pick?
Oh, this guy, he was in that Lincoln Riley big-time air raid pro offense, and he could gunsling it everywhere.
That was kind of the answer. I was looking for his accuracy, right? When Baker Mayfield came out, like his biggest positive was that he's very accurate with the ball. So I did some digging because I wanted to see, because they were in the same draft class, and everyone talks about how Lamar Jackson isn't accurate. So I looked up these numbers on Pro Football Reference, and it's kind of fascinating how similar they are. So I looked up this thing called on-target percentage, and an on-target ball is a ball that would have hit the receiver, and the on-target percentage is the percentage of that was actually called. So in 2019, Lamar Jackson was 65% he completed 65% of his passes, and out of those passes, 76% of those were on target, right? Like at his on-target percentage was 76%. Right. Baker was 59% overall accurate, and then only 70% of his passes were on target. Now, granted, there's some variance because Baker throws the ball more than Lamar, but last year it was kind of the same tune. Lamar Jackson was 64% accurate overall. His on-target accuracy was 75.3%. Baker was only 63% accurate, 75% on his on-target. And I say that to say that this notion that Lamar Jackson is not accurate is a lie from the pits of hell. He can hang with the best of them. He runs an offense that is built for him. And instead of criticizing, I feel like we need to applaud the Ravens for building a scheme that fits Lamar's skill set instead of criticizing Lamar for running an offense that's built for him.
The year he won MVP, he threw for like 30 touchdowns. He was just throwing to super wide open guys. He was making accurate decisions. And on top of that, he was able to use both his legs and his throwing ability, which, outside of really like a Cam Newton or Michael Vick, you haven't really seen talent at that position that's able to do so much. Obviously, we've had mobile quarterbacks before, but mobile in an aspect that the defense has to account for your running ability on every single play. Outside of Cam Newton, outside of Michael Vick, I mean, Lamar Jackson has to be one of the one of the best to do it. So I'm with you. I don't really get it. When I look at what you were saying about the Ravens building the offense around Lamar. I mean, some could make the argument that the Chiefs built their offense around Patrick Mahomes. He just has.
They did.
The Bills built their offense around Josh Allen, who has a similar skill set to Pat Mahomes. I know people don't want to realize that, but they have a similar skill set. So it's like, I don't get it. Like, they built the Tampa offense around Brady. Why do you think they brought back Gronk? Why do you think they went out and got Gio Bernard along with Leonard Fournette, along with Ronald Jones? They have these big-bodied receivers on the outside. I mean, come on. I'm with you. It doesn't make any sense.
Teams that are successful find a way to build offenses around the talent that they have. And I don't understand why we criticize Lamar Jackson.
Even Mac Jones. Like, I feel like the Patriots, the offense that they wanted to run was a very on-time precision, either take, rhythm throws or take what the defense gives you underneath. Mac Jones fit that skill set. Cam Newton, he added a element of running to that system. Mac Jones really fits it better because obviously he's more of a pocket passer. Very, I don't want to compare him to any previous quarterback, but he gives them some of the things that they were trying to do there. They're building that offense around him now, and just watch. Just watch. He hasn't been terrible. Hasn't been franchise changing, but it hasn't been terrible, and they're 1-1. They're 1-1, mind you.
What you can ask for.
The Jets was throwing them the ball, so Jets were basically throwing them the ball. They were like, "Hey, go score! Hey, go score!" I mean, but that's a question. That's a topic for another day.
So let's go to since we're talking about Mac Jones in the league as a whole. We're 2 weeks in. Tell me some of your biggest takeaways so far.
I would say some of the biggest takeaways. I think we were kind of on the same page on the NFC West. I think most of the league was in really agreeing that the NFC West is hands down like the best division in football. And I think when you look at it, I mean, you're gonna have to win a number of games. And I think once those teams really start playing each other, I think it's going to be very interesting in that division to see who's going to win, who's going to take these wild card spots. Honestly, when I look across the division, yeah, they're all 2-0 or 1-1. I don't know who's the favorite in that division, nor do I think the winner of that division would be someone I would say is definitely going to the Super Bowl. I think you can say the Rams are the best team in that division, but yeah, they still had some shakiness in theirs. The 49ers, they look like they're still trying to get it together with some of these guys who are injured and not coming back. Seahawks, their defense needs a little bit of work, but their offense just kind of went stagnant for an entire second half, which is surprising after starting out so hot. And then you think about the Cardinals, and it's like, yeah, the Cardinals have a lot of offense, but can they be consistent in that week in and week out? I think is the biggest thing there. So I think there's some question marks there, but I still think it's the best division in football. Another takeaway I had, the NFC North. It's kind of weak. It's kind of weak. I think between us, the Bears, Vikings, and the Lions, it's kind of weak. The NFC East kind of stinks too, but I think the gap between the NFC North and the NFC East in terms of who's the stinkiest definitely shrunk. Definitely shrunk. I think they're right there neck and neck in stinkiest of stinkiest divisions. That's all I got. What about you?
I have a bunch. When we did these show notes, I had to create a separate document just to write down all the stuff.
I would say the AFC. This is my last thing. The AFC. I don't know if they're outside of the Chiefs. Who are the real contenders in the AFC? Because I do not know. I think the AFC outside of the Chiefs is wide the hell open. Because I'm looking at some of these teams, I'm like, yo, this is a cake. This is almost a cakewalk conference. That was my third takeaway.
So first and foremost, you talked about Kyler Murray. Let me be the first to apologize because I was not believing the Kyler Murray hype, and then he went to Tennessee and ate them alive. My bad, Kyler.
You was bugging.
I was tripping.
Okay. You thought because he was a little bit short, he wouldn't be able to deliver it, like he didn't win a Heisman?
I just didn't see it. I didn't believe in Cliff Kingsbury, but my bad. When you had DeAndre Hopkins, my fault, Kyler. You got the juice. I'm just out here talking. My biggest takeaway so far, the biggest one is these taunting penalties. Like, dog, this got to stop. This needs to stop tonight.
It's like ridiculous. You can't do nothing.
Can't do nothing.
Like, what's the point of being in the NFL, making an incredible play if you can't get up and maybe talk your shit a little bit?
Talk your shit. That's like the unofficial slogan of the NFL for players. Talk your shit, and we can't even do that anymore. I don't like it, man, and it's costing teams games. Like it's yardage. It's ridiculous, man. Get this taunt stuff. I want to see someone taunt. If a fight break out, you know whose fault this is. This is Aqib Talib's fault for trying to snatch Michael Crabtree's chain 2-3 years ago, no, maybe 4 years ago. He's the genesis of this. If it weren't for him,
that is still one of the more hilarious things to happen in an NFL game. Shout out to Aqib Talib too, because he's been calling a few games. He's been calling some games here. Haven't been too bad. Like his color commentary is definitely like unique. Like it's him. Like he's definitely a former player. because like the way he's calling the games, I'm like, yeah, only a former player would break it down like that.
I love it.
Yeah,
he needs to be kick Joe Buck out of the booth, or kick Troy out the booth.
Nah. I like Joe and Troy. I think they're a good little combination. Also, I like Peyton and Eli. Like I watched the entire Packers game last night. Peyton and Eli, and they break down the games in incredible ways. Like I would highly recommend, anyone who maybe hasn't like watched their telecast. They break down the games in like pretty cool ways that kind of make sense, especially as they're trying to break it down from a quarterback kind of coach's perspective into the viewer's eyes. I thought it was really, really cool. And even like you can see like Peyton especially getting frustrated with like some of the offensive play calling on both sides, and then like you see exactly why as it plays out, how he says it's playing out, and I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense. Duh. Like, yeah, what are you saying? What this guy?
Savant. Yeah. Another thing for me is it's so nice to open up a sports app and not give a damn about a Carson Wentz injury. When I tell you, I have never heard of a man spraining both his ankles at the same time. And
Yo, are we ready to call Carson Wentz the 2021 Jay Cutler?
Yes, we are. That is perfect.
When I was watching the game and I saw Mans on the sideline, just like standing around, you know how players be when they're trying to get back in, they do the bob on the left and right. I'm watching Mans just bob, and I asked myself, like, yo, what's wrong with him?
Jay Cutler is perfect. That's the best analogy I've ever heard.
He don't care. He don't want to be there. He don't want to be there. Yeah.
He thought that shit was gonna be sweet in Indy. He thought Frank Wright was his savior.
Yo, like I'm like, yo, I don't even think, like part of me sitting there like, yo, I don't think this man even really wants to play football anymore. Like it wouldn't surprise me if he does not want to play football anymore.
Like, look, Indianapolis, he gonna retire like Andrew Luck. He gonna go on a mission to Africa. He gonna be out.
They might hope he retires. They might be able to take back some of that contract. But yeah, playing this year. All right, let's work. We can work something out. But.
Hey man, I just need Carson to be on the field so the Eagles can get that number one pick. That first round pick.
I want to also, while we send in prayers that Carson wants to get healthy, I want to send prayers to Tyrod Taylor as well, man. He's playing well. Unfortunate injury. It bugs me because I love Tyrod, obviously being a former Virginia Tech Hokie. He's a good quarterback too. I hate to see him, kind of dealing with the injury bug. That's kind of the story of his career. But tell you right now, Tyrod, you don't have to worry about your spot not being there when you get back, buddy, because that quarterback, he ain't doing a damn thing. So you get healthy, my friend. It's a hamstring injury. See you back in 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah,
your job will still be there. Yeah, your job will still be there.
How close? What did I tell you about Urban Meyer and USC? What I tell you 5 weeks ago?
No. He denied it. He came out and denied it.
And dude, what did Bobby Petrino do? What did Bobby Petrino do? Bobby Petrino said, "I ain't going to Arkansas." Left written. He didn't even write the notes. He typed it, signed it, left it in the Falcons' lockers, and 24 hours later, he was in Arkansas taking the head coach job. What did Nick Saban do in Miami? He threw a fit. He got so sick and tired of people asking him if he was going to Bama. He lied to all of us for a week. What happened?
He damn sure did go to Bama, didn't he?
Man's left and went to Bama. Dog Urban on his way to USC. I don't know what we talk. I don't know why we faking.
Do you really? No, he not. He not.
Okay.
Yo,
who else gonna take that SC job? Who else got the profile to take that SC? Let me rephrase that. Who has the name and profile to take that USC job right now, not named Urban Meyer? You gonna go get James Franklin from Penn State?
Maybe. I don't know. I think. What if SC tries to go NFL? Tries to hire
meaning like grabbing like a coordinator, kind of like what who did it to? Was it Lovie Smith in Illinois? What he did?
What about like a Kellen Moore?
That would be cool, but I don't think Kellen has the name, right? Like SC just went that route with the guy they just fired.
Clay Helton.
They're looking for a name. They need a name. This is gonna be the next 4 weeks of the season. Urban, you're gonna look on the sideline. He's gonna start coughing. And then he gonna start drinking a bunch of water. You're gonna see him sit down somewhere. And then next thing you know, he's gonna be in the hospital. And then next thing you know, he's gonna be in California taking an SC job.
Nah. I'm gonna hold out faith because
Hold out faith for what?
I don't want chaos on this one, but I definitely see chaos coming. That team's bad, but that team's bad, man.
Let me tell you, you want to live in Jacksonville and go and play in the AFC West, or you can go to USC, play in the Pac-12. Only challenge you got is Oregon and Notre Dame. Those are your only 2 hard games of the year. That's it.
SC might get Deion.
Nah, Deion will go to Florida State before he go to SC. And if Deion turn his back, he done talk all this cash about HBCUs and then leave after 2 seasons. That's not a good look.
You don't think? Yeah, no, you're right.
Nah, dog. He been talking all this trash to other HBCUs. He just can't bounce. He got to stay.
You're right. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, who would? I agree with you. It does have to be a name. Maybe they go. I don't know.
Who you think? Sorry, well, Sark was the coach at USC 10 years ago. They ain't going back to Sark. I know he's looking for a way out. You think Lincoln Riley might jump?
Nah, he would go to the NFL.
Yeah. What name is out in these streets that's big enough?
Maybe a Harbaugh.
Dog, the Harbaugh name doesn't mean anything in college football now. That's stepped on like the NFC North.
Oh man, that's what we doing. Yeah, why are we? I thought we shooting. We shooting?
No, I mean you said yourself the NFC North is on the same level as the NFC East.
But when I said I'm not shooting, when you said you shoot,
I was just agreeing with your statement earlier. I'm not shooting. If you want, I mean, I'm sorry, but the Harbaugh name is stepped on in college football. Don't nobody want that,
dude. I honestly don't know who would take that SC job because I'm thinking about it and I'm like, but would they take it? Nah.
The only way it'll work is if some non-power 5, like the coach from Cincinnati, like if they get on fire again. Who's the coach at UCF? He's a guy on the rebound. Who's at USC?
Gus Malzahn.
Yeah, Gus not going. They're not taking him in. See.
I don't know. Well, I keep an eye on it. What other takeaways?
The only add 2 more. I'll make them quick. The Panthers and the Broncos actually might be fun this year.
They might make a run for like the very last wild card spot.
They might be fun.
Like it might be.
Get healthy, Jerry Jeudy.
Is Christian McCaffrey like this much of a game changer? Like, that he just comes back and the Panthers offense look like it's like good.
Christian McCaffrey is what y'all tell me Saquon Barkley is.
I'm ready to say that Christian McCaffrey might be the greatest white running back maybe in history.
Oh, he's been that.
He been that? Okay.
He been the best. He was the best white running back when he was drafted.
Okay. How much longer before we have to consider Christian McCaffrey the greatest white skill player ever in the NFL?
That's a very interesting question. And let's make a list right now live on air. Who we got? Wes Welker.
Julian Edelman.
Danny Woodhead.
Do you consider Gronk in that, or do you consider him?
Yes, Gronk is just, okay. So Gronk is number 1.
Travis Kelce.
Number 2.
It's got to be like some old. What was the old
Chris Collinsworth?
Chris Collinsworth. What about the old Seahawks wide receiver that played?
We got to throw Frank Tarkenton in there too.
He's a quarterback. We're talking about skill players.
Oh yeah, we're talking about. Let me see.
Was Steve Largent? No.
Steve Largent. That's it.
Yeah, Steve Largent.
This feels so wrong, but it's so funny.
Do we throw Zach Ertz in there because he had a season where he? Well, now he.
I don't know if Zach's done it long enough.
Yeah, you're right.
Zach would be under McCaffrey for me because of position. Like McCaffrey gets. I would put McCaffrey over Ertz in my opinion.
Austin Collie? No. Dallas Clark? Jason Witten?
Yes. Not Jason Witten. Dallas Clark. Absolutely.
We have to consider Jason Witten. He's like up there in terms of tight ends.
I would take McCaffrey like an all-time white skill position. I would take McCaffrey over Witten.
Okay, I'm not arguing with that. He could probably do more. I think that's where my list ends because I can't think of many more.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if we forgot anybody.
We can't consider the running back from the Browns, Peyton Hillis. He didn't do it long enough.
Yeah, he didn't do it long enough, but I was a Peyton Hillis fanatic. Yeah, I think
he must have won you a fantasy league or something.
No, I just saw as a man who suffers from being thick, it's nice to see other thick men run the ball.
You ain't say that. You ain't say that. You ain't say that. You ain't say that.
Like I was a big Marion Barber fan.
Hey,
it's nice to see the big boys tote the rock.
Yeah, what did Booker T used to say? Tell me you ain't just say that. You ain't say that.
True story. When I went to college at ODU, it was they were trying to, it was like the first year they were starting to develop the team and they had tryouts. And I dead ass watched a bunch of Marion Barber film. And I was like, I'm gonna go out there and be a running back. What the goal was,
my man said, "Yo, I'm about to tote that thing, boy. I'm about to feel me."
My goal was I was too small to be like a defensive lineman or offensive lineman. So I'm like, I'm gonna try out as a fullback / running back. But here's the kicker.
Here's the kicker.
I wanted to play quarterback because I thought I could throw. So I was like, I'm gonna make the team as a fullback and start slinging that thing in practice. I've never played quarterback a day in my life on any level.
Did you ever, like, for 5 seconds, ever ask yourself this question? Who has ever been a running back quarterback before?
Never. I thought never. Like there was like 4 months in my life where I was like, I'm gonna be a fullback.
Hey, come on, dog.
18-year-old me was wild.
How did them tryouts go?
Dog, so the tryouts were like, I think it was like a month. And it was every Tuesday, Thursday at like 6 a.m. And they treated you like a student athlete, like they checked in on your grades, they talked to your teachers. I know, and if you missed a practice, you were cut, no questions asked. I know, like the fourth practice in, one of the coaches like walked over to me and was like, all right, you don't need to come back, dog. He was like,
you go over and hit you with the silent tap count. Yeah.
Give me your playbook.
They hit you with
that. I stayed the whole time, right? Like I was like, he's not gonna tell me to leave. Like I'm gonna leave when I want to leave. So I completed the whole thing. But yeah, like practice 4 or 5, he was kind of like
he hit you with that Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, he was
he
was like, hey dog, sleep in, go to class.
It's funny because I think being a former athlete, obviously in those type of situations, I've seen those situations you're talking about, but I've seen them from a whole different view. Like I've seen it to where like maybe we're like warming up or something, or like all of us are convening before practice, and you'll see the coaches chatting with like a walk-on or somebody like on the far side, and you just know, oh, he getting that talk. Yeah. So now I'm like, look at that. You see it's different.
Yeah,
like, it's different.
It's not fun. And the thing was, he was so slick with it, right? Like it was 30 seconds, if that. It was a 30-second. It was kind of like, hey, dog, I appreciate you.
You know why it was so smooth? I bet you he practiced it like at least 50 times before he told you. Or they probably had they probably had like some training back there with the coach. Like, this is how you're supposed to tell him. That's why my man just hit you with that. Hey.
He hit me with, and I appreciate him. And I'm glad because I wouldn't have survived.
Oh shit! Oh my god! Yo, okay. Since we talking, I'm gonna even things out, yo. I want everyone to know I tried out for a basketball team in middle school and did not make it because I was a 4-pack of fucking ass. So I want to balance that out. Let you know you're not alone there, brother. I ain't gonna let you step on that ledge by yourself.
I tried out for basketball. I was fat and slow. I ain't making that. We be running like. Here's another one. I tried out for varsity basketball.
I tried to cut you so bad.
No, it's okay now, right? I'm in my 30s. It's cool.
Oh my God.
What's his face? I was a big man, and they were like go on the block, but I could shoot, right? And I was a Dirk fan. I was like, dog, I'm not going on the block. I'm shooting these fucking threes.
Oh,
Excuse my language.
You was trying to revolutionize your position with no skill set.
We were running the scrimmages.
You had no package, and you were trying to revolutionize your position.
I was good in the post, but I was like, dog, I can shoot better than the guy with the ball. So I would run down the floor dead serious, and I would just run to the corner. Like I would set a pick, and I would run straight to the corner. I would like throw me that joint.
You wouldn't even roll. You would just fade.
Yeah, I'm picking popping. I won't send screens. I won't rebound it. I'm not playing defense. I'm gonna stand in the corner and shoot.
Yeah, they probably got you up out of there.
It was real.
He don't do nothing. He don't do nothing.
He can't run the suicide in under 50 seconds.
He said, "Yeah, man, Yo, they seeing you run them suicide. They was like, nah, fam. He can't even set the. He was like, he can't set the pick. And he can't even roll with it. Nah,
he can't rebound. He can't do nothing.
Go. All right, yo. All right. So as we just kind of transition, I don't know if most people know, Danny and I are in a fantasy football league. It's my fantasy football league, all money in, which is funny because the prize isn't all the money that's in, but that's another story for another day. Danny, 2 weeks into the season, we're both 2-0.
Yep.
We're both leading the NFC, I believe. That's our conference. We're both leading at the top of the NFC. Holla at me. How you feeling about your fantasy squad? I know this isn't we don't really talk a lot of fantasy, but we can keep the people updated since we're in a league together.
So you scored more points than me. So you're in first place NFC. I'm second. And I feel extremely confident about my team now that Aaron Rodgers and got his act together. Like I know Dalvin Cook went out the other day because I think he had like an ankle, but he came back. I am confident. All I need is A.J. Brown to remember that he's A.J. Brown. That's it.
Okay. Do you think? And I'm looking at your roster now. I'm looking at your roster and I'm looking at your bench and I'm saying your starting lineup is where your heat is. You got a lot of heat up there. So my question is, do you feel how confident are you in your backups in case something maybe doesn't work out?
I am extremely confident. Odell's kind of my ace in the hole, but again, he's come back from torn ACL. He hasn't played yet. I'm a little scary about Odell. Sony Michel again. I just took him. I might have to make some trades. I know there's someone in the league trying to trade with me. Like I might have to make a trade mid-season if Odell, if my ace in the hole doesn't come out, and Tua seems to have bruised ribs, which is bad news for Jalen Waddle. He was my other ace in the hole. So I'm not panicking yet. If I lose 2 or 3 in a row, I might have to come up off Amari Cooper or another receiver to get a little bit of depth.
Okay. I feel you. Okay.
Tell me about your league. Let me pull up your roster because I looked the other day. Oh yeah, you was dominant. You was out here. Derrick Henry. I know he put up 60 by himself.
Derrick Henry put up some crazy numbers. Let me tell you something about my team. So my team, we've kind of underperformed, but we've managed to get the job done. A win's a win. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think RB2 it's gonna be an uphill battle for me once Mans from the Ravens went out. So I've been picking and popping with people in there. I got James White. I'm trying to see with Javonte Williams. I heard from the grapevines that he might be taking the starting position soon. So I'm gonna just keep an eye on him. But honestly, like I feel like when my team starts hitting its stride and really gets into its bag, my team might take off. Like especially like George Kittle. I got Mike Evans. I also got Mike Evans.
Bench.
Yeah, I put Mike Evans on the bench this week because I've been peeping Sterling Shepard, thinking he's been kind of, he's been getting his shit off.
By the way.
And they're playing the Falcons this week. Mike Evans is playing the Rams. I feel like Mike Evans is going to be matched up on Jalen Ramsey. I might take my chances with Sterling Shepard. Plus, Mike Evans low-key is like he's low-key touchdown dependent. And I feel like if he's matched up on Evans – if he's matched up on Ramsey all game, I might trust Sterling Shepard against the Falcons because
You should.
But feeling good. I think upcoming schedule wise, I'm playing the worst team in the league this week, and the next week starts a little run of a lot of good teams that I gotta play. So like I play you at the halfway point of the season. So I feel like that'll be an interesting week for the pod. We'll
I got Aaron Rodgers. I'm good. I got your boy.
I got him in another league, and so I'm gonna be rooting. I'm always rooting against. I'm always rooting for Rodgers, whether I have him or not. So I don't mind losing to people when they have Aaron Rodgers. I feel like it's what God's telling me.
Remember that when I win this money.
Talk to me about the Eagles and the 49ers. How are we feeling coming out of that game?
Sad. One word. Sad. Brandon Graham towards Achilles. Brandon Brooks has a pectoral injury. And the Eagles should have won that game. It should have been 17-7 at half, and it should have been 24-27, 17 in the fourth. Like the Eagles should have had command the entire time. But Nick Sirianni got cute in the play calling. You have a quarterback that squats 600 pounds, but you can't run a QB sneak from the one. Come on, man. Stop being cute. We here for points. Stop pandering to us.
Okay. Well, Eagles got the Cowboys Monday night, baby. We'll
Yes,
see. We'll see.
It's Dallas. We fuck them. Hey, we here, baby.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I got the boys winning that game. Winning
that game. Go Birds.
Where's it at?
It's in Dallas.
I got the boys winning that game. So.
All right.
Lions and
Packers.
Yeah, Lions and Packers. Started out like I'm gonna be honest with you. First half, I was happy to see that the offense was clicking. Disgusted with the defense. I couldn't believe what was going on in front of my very own eyes. I think the second half we started applying pressure, which when we're able to get to the quarterback with just a 4-man rush, heaven forbid, like our corners don't look that bad. I think it's just the defense got to do a little bit better. I think Joe Barry has to keep on working on his scheme with these players. We got the win. 49ers Sunday night. Lord have mercy. They are going to zone.
But you are missing Darius Smith.
Yeah. Yep. Our best edge rusher. So it's a little tough, but when we get Zay back, we're gonna be all right. Are the Seahawks frauds?
No, I don't think the Seahawks are frauds. I feel like every year we have this conversation. Usually it's week 11 or 12. Now it just happens to be week 3. I don't think the Seahawks are frauds. They have Russell Wilson. As long as you have Russell Wilson, you have a chance.
So you're saying the Seahawks are who we thought they are?
I don't think they're frauds. Do I think they're winning the Super Bowl? No. I mean, but they can contend for a playoff spot.
Okay, I like it. Speaking of people who up and down, is Virginia Tech back on its bullshit?
I'll let you answer that.
Yes, but it's not Virginia Tech people. It's Brad Corneliuson, the offensive coordinator, whatever his last name is. I don't like you. I don't want to like you. Your play calling stinks. Ask Madden could do a better job of calling an offense, especially inside the red zone. Yo, let me tell you, it's 1st and 10. We at the 20, down 7. What you gonna do, Brad? Oh, I'm gonna tell you what he gonna do. He gonna do a QB sneak. 1st down. Now you looking at 1st and 7. I mean, he gonna give you a jet sweep on 2nd down. Now you looking at 3rd down and 4 on 3rd down. You know what he giving you? You thinking he going over the top? You think he gonna scheme somebody open? No, bubble screen. 4th down, punt the ball. Defense back out. Defense gives up a touchdown. Now you down 14. Now you looking at yourself wondering, how do we have all this talent that we've been able to accumulate, but we can't push the ball? I'm going to tell you why. It's because Brad Corneliuson, or whatever his damn name is, he don't trust that these great offensive players can make great offensive plays, and he feed us this bullshit, and I'm fucking tired of it.
Wow.
I'm tired of it.
QB sneak, that had to be a mistake.
Son,
He brought in the jumbo package to run the QB sneak on 1st and 10.
I can't stand him, son. He's
If it make you feel better, UVA back on their bullshit. They lost 59-39 to UNC. So
so they're back playing regular UVA football. Let me tell y'all something. UVA really thought they did something with that fluke win against Tech a few years ago. Whatever. Yo, is the SEC is the SEC still the king of the Power Five?
yes.
After 3 weeks. Yeah, I don't think it's close either. Although the Pac-12 is giving people a run for their money, albeit losing. I think UCLA losing to Fresno State hurt a little bit. But they'll be all right. Apparently, Fresno State's not a bad team. So
yeah, they're ranked. They're what are they ranked? They're ranked 22 right now.
Yeah, so that's all I got, man. That's all I got.
That's all I got. So,
tell the people what to find you, man.
Yeah, I always forget that. Thank you. You always keep me. You can find me on Twitter at MadAds14. D. Let's say goodbye to the people.
Yeah, people. You know you can find me at LosDemix, LosDeemix on IG, on Twitter. People, you know we back better Tuesday, 7 p.m. We're going to keep speaking on it because when you speak on it, things get spoken on. And what's life if you're not able to really speak on things? That's right. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here to give you game because the game is meant to be given.
The Fugees would be proud. That was great.
Hey, man, I'm low key. I'm starting to really realize I'm a low key wordsmith. Like I can really get my shit off with some more. Wait till some of my homies really start getting, maybe married or something. I can start wait till I really start getting into my speech bag. Like when I start delivering speeches and toasts. Boy, if you getting honored by me, you gonna have some nice words coming from me. I'm gonna have people thinking you Nelson Mandela. I don't know.
This show's brought to you by GoingFor2.com. Head over there for all your fantasy needs. We out. Peace.